Hey guys, welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. And for this week, we have the new patch is going to drop. That's 10.2. I did a video on that yesterday, so I'll link that at the end of this video in case you want to watch that one to see what all is going to be in there. Dark Moon Fair is going on this week, so a good week to level some characters if you want, or do some rep. Time Walking is this week. It'll be the WoD version. PvP Brawl Deep 6 is going to be the Brawl this week. And then also on Sunday, right at the end of the week, we will have the Moonkin Festival. And worth noting that it is patch week, so servers are going to be down till 3 p.m. Pacific time on reset day. Okay, so let's talk retail stuff first, because I know this past weekend has been crazy. There was Blizzcon, and there's a bunch of stuff to share on that. So I just thought we'd quickly get the immediate news out of the way, and then we will work into Blizzcon. So first things first, it's patch week. It's new Twitch drops. So I did a video on that one as well. I'll link it if I have room. And yeah, so this week you're going to be able to get the pets. So that'll be the Dottie pet, which most of us probably have. As for the camel that you see on screen, that'll be next week. So I'll mention it again next week. It's just the pet for this week. So the next thing is the trading post. I quickly put together a video showing that off, so here it is. The Traveler's Log is called The More the Merrier. And honestly, that would have made a better title next month. You know, The Merrier. But whatever. So for your Traveler's Log, your item is Cosmic Weapons Cache. Does look like you're gonna get 3 of those items, and yeah, so I'll throw a picture down right beside us here, and that will show off the actual items, because because I haven't really started the Traveler's Log, so I'm not gonna actually do my Trader's Post completion video for probably, I would say, a week. Yeah, I think it'll get done fairly soon this month, but, I have no goals to even start it for at least a few days. I got a couple of things going on. But yeah, so that's what you get for that. Just a quick added in edit here, but like a day after I recorded this video of the trading post here, they added 2 extra weapons. These are them on screen, so you should be getting a total of 5 things out of your monthly reward. And we'll just jump down. I'm not going to open...
Work complete.
I'm not going to open that. And that can stay there too.
That's a fine day for a trade.
Okay, so... Slivy is from last month. He's my frozen item. So we got the Spectral Griffin, which is the Alliance version. Pretty sure you get both. Oh, maybe you don't. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure if you get one, you get the Horde version, but no, it looks like you got to get them separately. Huh. Okay. So, Alliance Spectral Griffin and the Horde Spectral Wind Rider. And then there is also the Swift Zephyra. So those are your mounts for this month. We also have this Transmog, which looks badass. Yeah, I actually really like that one. But I'm not going to have 650 to just toss to a Transmog. So yeah. Here's the pet. The pet is my favorite item of the month for sure. So yeah, I will be 100% getting that pet. And then we have Instruments of the Illyrian Call for Warlock. And let me just get this direction and we'll show off everything. Oh, okay. I'll just move towards it. That's the second item. And then this is the third. Longbow of the Twisted Grove. Monk set items. So there's this. That is very pretty. I like that. And that looks badass too. So yeah, this monk item set is a really good one. Warrior set. Shield is beautiful. Yeah, I especially love the roses on it. Yeah. And we have the matching weapon, which is also very nice. And then the two hands. So yeah, also very nice. So this is a really nice set. Yeah. Jewels of the Illyrian Call. So Warlock. And yeah, it looks like you're gonna get the helm, shoulders, and belt. And I don't know about the helm, but the shoulders are badass, I will say. And the belt looks okay. Yeah. But those shoulders, yeah, it would be worth getting it just for those shoulders. Savage Champions trophies. So this is the warrior one. Helm, shoulders, belt. I don't really care for this one personally, but... Possessed Watcher, guys. This one's for the monk, of course. And yeah, I don't really care for this one. Foam Sword Rack. I'm actually surprised to see this one in here. The reason why it's showing a check mark there is because I've been farming the black market for years for TCG items, and toys is definitely one of them, so that's where I got it from. So it's kind of weird to see an item that is actually obtainable somewhere else in game. Fang of the Mountain. So this is a one-hand sword, and it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's 400 points good, but yeah. Ruby Fellfire Bulwark. I fucking love this shield. Yeah, this shield is badass. Loyal Blademaster's Great Sword. If we could see it better, maybe, but it looks like it's blue and gold. Yeah, always hate the way she holds these. But yeah, it's okay. Luxurious Niffin hat. I like it. Yeah. If I knew I'd have the bonus currency, which I won't, I would totally get that hat, but we'll be broke. Sinister Fellstaff. It's okay. Mechanical Skull Crusher. I love it. I love specifically the fact that it rotates. Yeah. Yeah. If I had the currency, I would also be grabbing that. This one's just so awesome to me because you may notice that my paladins always carry around these hammers. So I'm definitely like a hammer girl when it comes to my paladin. And yeah. And then it rotating is just so badass because they're usually just still weapons, right? Maw of Rage. That is a badass shield. So we always have cloaks, so we get brown this time, so easy pass. And the Acolyte Etched Warhammer, so pretty much just looks like a gray item. Gnomish Liquid Transfer, yeah, looks like another gray item. Razor Edged Kukri. The shawl, for being 50 points, I actually like this cape. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. Tide collar cinch. So that's the belt. And it looks pretty good. Yeah. Crocal Geisarm. It's okay. Okay, so that is the end of the list of things. I'm just gonna say, all in all, I've seen people say that this month sucks. I am gonna disagree on that. Yeah, this month does not suck in any shape or form. I'm just gonna say I'm interested in Spectral. This weapon. Of course, there'd be the Horde version since they seem to be separate. The pet. Zevra. What was this one? Okay, we could pass. We could pass. Did I like anything? Yeah, so this set right here I would totally buy. Same with the warrior set. This because of the shoulders. Oops. This shield. The hat. The hammer. This other shield. That cape. And that's it. But all in all, what is that? Like, that's thousands of currency because the sets are, you know, pretty big too. Like 2 sets would be 1,000 right there. We've got, you know, what, 4, is it 4 mounts? No, 3 mounts and a pet. And yeah, people are crazy for saying that this is a dull month. Like, even if you have the Spectral, because these came from a promotion that I was always surprised that I didn't have, but, you know, I think you had to, you know, you had to be friendly, okay? I've always been a solo player, right? Like, yeah. If I'm being friendly, it's because I want something out of a raid. So yeah, anyway, that's the list of things. I should have a video shortly on this, probably like a mid-month. I would do it right now, but I gotta do the patch video. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff happening right now. We got BlizzCon. Well, BlizzCon will have occurred by the time I post this in the WoW Weekly video. But yeah, I'm gonna be, you know, doing some BlizzCon stuff, and we got the patch that I want to have on the channel, probably the day before you see this video, because the day after this video, the patch launches, right? So yeah. And, yeah, so my guess is let's just aim for mid-month, okay? Mid-month is probably around the time you'll see me actually completing this and buying the things that I can afford, which isn't going to be a whole lot because you can see my currency up there. So at the end, on completion, I'm only going to have 1,300. So yeah, we'll see which way we roll with that. And yeah. Okay, quick edited note, but there's trader tender on the pre-purchase of the new expansion, so I might have a little extra to spend this month. Also worth noting that the Pathfinder that's going to allow you to fly your regular mounts in Dragonflight has been adjusted a bit, so everything still applies on it except for the renown, so you don't need the renown. So basically, in other words, all you need to do is have the storylines for every single zone in Dragonflight, including Zarelek and Forbidden, and also have Zarelek explored, and you'll have to explore the new area, the Emerald Dream. One thing that we just found out through BlizzCon. I know we're not quite on the topic of BlizzCon yet, but we're damn close. So, but this fits into right now, sorta. But we did find out that Dragonflight will actually have a season 4, which really kind of surprised me because we have the AOTC mount that is quest related, and for those that are like myself and have played WoW for years, you know that there's always that last raid every expansion that you kill the last boss on heroic, you get a quest item, hand it in, get your AOTC mount. Well, that is in season 3, right? That quest exists, that mount exists. And yeah, so really, I thought that was the final season. So yeah, I was very surprised to hear we will have a season 4. And the announcement was we'll have a season 4 with fated raids. So, you know, they did this in Shadowlands. With Shadowlands, I felt like it was just a filler in to keep people, you know, kind of happy. It's hard to keep anyone happy in Shadowlands, but, you know, I felt like it was a filler in. And this is looking like they want to regularly do this every expansion. So I don't know. Fated Raids was a cool thing in Shadowlands because there was really not much else to do. But I don't want it every expansion, you know? Because for the most part, like, yeah, I really didn't expect it would make a return because honestly, that was when they decided to kind of do a different spin on M+ as well, which did turn into a regular thing. We've had a spin on M+ every season in Dragonflight. So I don't know. Maybe I guess it makes sense that Fated Raids will be there. All I gotta say is if they're gonna be there, new reward. I don't want to see my fucking Shadowlands Fated Raid mount in Dragonflight. So new reward. That's all I ask. And then the last thing that I thought we'd mention before we hop over to BlizzCon stuff is that there is a new battle pet you can get. It's Gnomelia Gearheart, and it's from playing the new mobile game, which is Warcraft Rumble. And yeah, just play it for a bit and you'll get her. There's really not much to say. You just defeat Hogger, which he's at the beginning. Okay, so BlizzCon time. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff here. I plan on talking about retail WoW, classic WoW, and Diablo because Diablo actually had some kind of interesting things going on. And yeah. So I haven't been really reporting on Diablo because in case you guys have never noticed, I report on it when I'm loving it. You know, this is basically a World of Warcraft news video, but when I'm loving other games that are involved with Blizzard, then I report on them. If you don't see me reporting them, it means I'm not loving them that month. Yeah. So yeah, but for the most part, you know, you guys are here for WoW, so we keep it at that. But yeah, so I thought before we start, let's roll the cinematic. I thought this cinematic was amazing, and I honestly was really surprised to hear, for those that didn't watch the BlizzCon, we got an announcement for 3 expansions. I think they are tired of people saying the game's dead. I think they wanted to, like, really tell people, you know, whether you think the game is dead or not, we're here for another 6 years. And yes, they did say that they're going to roll out the expansions earlier, but I don't believe that. I really don't believe it. It is one of two things. It's either going to stick to its every 2 years and we'll just, you know, we'll have to wait till 2030 for some new info. or they will speed it up a little bit and it'll be like 18 months or something. People thought it would be yearly. I really don't think it's going to be yearly. Not unless they plan on basically wiping out patches, because it takes time to build a patch, design it, create new mounts, new content, new battlegrounds, new seasons. There's just no way. So that's all I'm going to say right now. Let's watch the cinematic and then we'll talk about it after.
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
You didn't just come here for me. It's the visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately. Something, someone, is calling out from the heart of the world. Like a voice from a dream. Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again. My son.
I am not that person anymore! I have no light. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
Hear me.
They're getting worse. Look, whatever's coming, I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet. But that sword was aimed at someone.
My visions are not the same as the others. No radiance, no song. Just the shadow taunting me from below. The fate of our world rests upon the edge of a knife. And our battle lies deep within.
Okay, so let me know in the comments what you guys thought of it. I know what a good portion of you guys thought already because we watched it together on the weekend, but for those that weren't there for the live stream that I did, let me know what you thought. Me personally, and this was projected over my stream, but I loved it, honestly. To me, WoW is back. You know, WoW has been kind of dead to me for 6 years. I've just been kind of going through the motions and doing what I do every day, and it's just my routine to play WoW. I haven't been really remotely close to this kind of hyped up since Legion. So yeah, I'm seeing Canadian prices, so you'll have to convert if you were, not from Canada, which you probably aren't. You're probably from the States. But for me, the base edition is $65, Heroic edition is $90, and Epic is $115. Now, I'm sure there's some Canadians crying over the $115, but the reality is I've been a gamer for a long time. I've been paying a hefty price for games for a long time. Back when the normal was like a $40 game, I was paying $60. When it was a $60 game, I was paying $80. So I'm really, I don't even flinch when they add like an extra $20, because I'm so used to it. And I've always rolled with the motto that I could be like, you can go out for dinner and spend that kind of money in one night, right? So yeah, that's an expansion that's going to last me a couple of years. So not a biggie, but let's go over what you get in it. So for base edition, you'll get the game. You will get Dragonflight with it if you're not already playing Dragonflight, and then you'll get a level 70 boost and 500 Trader Tender. Heroic Edition gets you all that except 750 Trader Tender. You'll get the Algarian Storm Rider mount that has dynamic flying, customization, and has access to some special race courses. And you also get an upgradable Storm Rider attire transmog set. If you get the Epic Edition, you'll get all that, plus beta access to the War Within, 3 days early access to the War Within, and this is the one that the community is kind of in an uproar about. Me personally, it doesn't even matter to me because I always buy the epic edition. You know, I never buy base or heroic. Yeah. So it's really just a bonus added in feature for me. But people do seem to be kind of upset. I'm just going to say there's no reason to be upset because nothing gets done in the first week. Like, all you're doing is leveling. There's no raids or M+ or any of that out in the first week. So having 3 days early access, so what? It's like, at the end of the day, it might not even matter because it depends how much you can play anyway. 3 days early access to a person that can, like, you know, play it consistently, I guess you could get a good chunk done. But if you can't play much anyway, then I don't know. Like, if you don't want the rest of the rewards we're going to go through, yeah, it's like 3 days isn't going to really do much. To be fair, the first day might be laggy. You know, I believe this one got some decent reception, you know? I wasn't the only one that loved the announcement. So, you know, it could be busy. It could be laggy on that first day. So, you know, 3 days early might not even matter. Might take you a couple of days to get in the game anyway. You'll also get 30 days of game time. There is a storm hatchling pet called Squally, a sandbox storm griffin toy, and you'll also get the Deep Dwellers Earthen Hearthstone effect. I'm just surprised that they put the mount in the heroic edition. Like, what is going on, Blizzard? Like, what? Are you guys ill? It's like you usually it's like the pet in the lower version and then the mounts in like the big purchase. So yeah, if you're strictly a mount collector and that's literally all you care about when it comes to these expansion purchases, then you could just buy the middle one, save yourself some money. I am a collector, so, you know, that's why I always grab the epic, because it's not just about mounts. It's mounts, pets, Hearthstone, you know, like everything. Yeah. I just like having it all. The dwarf leak that we had before BlizzCon was obviously the Earthen allied race. I'm glad the rest of the leaks were false, but this one was semi-accurate. I still think it's kind of weird that we are now going to have like a second allied race dwarf, but whatever. An extra note on the allied race is that they will be available to both Horde and Alliance. Now let's talk about my favorite feature, and this is honestly what gave the Blizz announcement a W in my eyes. The minute they announced this, I really didn't care what else they had to say. They just won. They just won. It was the one thing I've been wanting for fucking years, and it's the one thing that pretty much had me stop playing Dragonflight because I legit felt like I couldn't play, right? And that is Warbands. And what do I mean by I couldn't play? I'm on a main character of almost 20 years. Like, I don't got room to be a collector anymore. You know, my bank is full, my void storage is full, my inventory is full. Like, I just don't have room and I can't make room. So what did they announce? They announced Warbands, and Warbands is basically this feature where your characters are kind of linked together and they can share reputation, banks, and some other stuff. So let's go over some of that stuff. They said that a reagent bank, multiple bank tabs, and more are coming into the new expansion. So basically, we're going to have account-wide banking, which, awesome, Blizzard. Yeah. And that is like the major thing I've been wanting for years because, like I said, I felt like I couldn't actually play Dragonflight without being frustrated. Like, it's just been too many years, and getting an extra 8 fucking bag slots every 2 years is not cutting it. So yeah, I was really hoping they'd do something like this. I didn't think they would ever do account wide, but I was hoping for more bank space or bag space. So yes, awesome. So there'll be some new items that will be warbound and can be sent between your characters. So that's very cool as well. Reputation will be shared. Transmog will be shared. Flight paths. So if you got a flight path on one character, your other characters will know it. Achievements. And then they also announced delves. So delves are like a scenario, basically. You probably know what I mean if you played Panda. So when it was current. So delves will be a activity that you can complete, and you just need 1 to 4 players, and you can complete them in any specialization, which is exactly how the Panda 3-player dungeons were. Like you could go in with whatever. You could have 3 DPS in there. So yeah, you don't need to be looking for healers and tanks. Just go in with your friends and done. It's going to be included into seasonal content, and it'll have rewards like mounts, pets, achievements. There's a massive haul of treasures for the vault. So yeah, you'll complete objectives, and which can be like defeating a boss or doing a puzzle or whatever, right? And yeah, so that'll be an extra thing on the vault. One thing that I was really kind of surprised in during the weekend of BlizzCon was the amount of people that didn't know a vault even existed. And then the ones that did said they've never been to it. They've never collected anything off the vault. And I was blown away from that because, like, Transmog is on the vault, Like, if you're a collector, you want to be doing the vaults. So also, they talked about hero talents. So this is an interesting one. So basically how it works, for most characters anyway, us druids are special because we have 4 specs. But for most, it'll be 3 trees total per class, with 2 trees that can be swapped between per spec, right? So it'll automatically unlock when you hit the level 71, and you'll earn 1 talent point for every level up until 80. 10 talents in total with, with your choices there. And they say it's low friction for respeccing. So here's an example. Here's the druid. This is the balanced druid, and you can see kind of what it is there. So just a slight difference, The left and right is basically what we see on our talents right now. So it's just that middle part, basically. So another thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about collection, but back to transmogs. If you've collected, how sometimes you'll have like a warrior transmog, and then you go to like another server or something, and then that warrior doesn't have that transmog. Well, that is over when the expansion rolls out. So you'll be able to learn transmog of any gear type, even if you cannot equip it. And this is something that I've wanted for a long time because, like, I have all these alts, but I only ever want to play my druid. Like, just think about some of the runs, or some of the farms you've done where you go in, I don't know, say you're farming Invincible, and you go in and you're vendoring a shit ton of soulbound plate gear. Meanwhile, you never bring your plate wearer into your Invincible runs. Maybe it's too low level or something, Like, yeah, it's just I think back to how many times I like deleted or, and what's a really good, I was just thinking about this right now. And my bad if I'm all over the place. I'm still pretty hyped from all these BlizzCon announcements. But one thing I was just thinking about is the fact that I'm always bitching that, like, I don't want to play the black market anymore because I'll probably get a soulbound piece of crap plate tier set on my druid, And that will fix that, right? You'll be able to learn that shit now. So if you're like me and you stopped doing the black market because of that right there, because that is why I stopped. I didn't want to be spending $100K on a box just to get a fucking soul-bound fucking non-leather piece of gear, It won't solve the fact that you could get something but, it'll at least solve the fact that if you get some other classes transmog and you don't know it, you can now learn it. So yeah. So they also mentioned that there'll be 8 new dungeons. And then they did mention that Narubar Palace is going to be the first raid. So this is just a quick little sketch of it. And yeah, that's pretty much all we know there. But I was pretty hyped to see that we were going to have like a Naribian raid, and it'll be an 8-boss raid, which is pretty normal for raids, I would say. Cross-Realm Guilds is going to be part of the new expansion, so that has been confirmed. And they did say unrestricted Cross-Realm Mythic, so... Also, Dynamic Flight will be coming, so you'll be able to choose between Dynamic Flight and TBC flying. And they did say it is going to be available in all flyable areas. So realistically, there shouldn't be much restriction there. And for those like myself wondering, will it be applied to druids as well? They did confirm it. Yeah, so we will have our druid flight form having dynamic flying as well. So yeah, that's basically, in a nutshell, that is the retail stuff. Overall, my full impression is I was honestly impressed. I went in with pretty much no hopes because they've literally fucked 3 expansions over, which is 6 years of content. So yeah, after a while, you start kind of, you just accept it's dead, right? And there's still, in a sense, there's still issues. Don't get me wrong. It's still, at the end of the day, a almost 20-year-old game with way too much shit in it, way too many mounts, pets, collection, achievements. Like, it's just, there's a such thing as too much, and WoW has definitely exceeded that. But as far as will I play the new expansion? Hell fucking yeah. The new expansion sounds amazing. That midnight one that they had mentioned looks amazing too. There was no cinematic or anything on it, but it looked pretty good. And then there was one for the Titans as well. My hope, while I'm excited for, because I wouldn't go as far to say that I'm excited for the expansion. My excitement comes from the quality of life changes, really. I like the expansion, and unlike Dragonflight, they have not mentioned, at least not yet, anything that is major with the expansion that I dislike. With Dragonflight, I hated dragon riding and professions. Like, yeah, professions might still be the same in the new expansion. They didn't really talk much on it, but it's early in, there's time, right? We got a year. So, yeah. But the fact is, We're already going to be able to fly with our regular mounts, so that's a plus. I won't be restricted to dragon riding because clearly dragon riding is staying. Enough people did like it. But I prefer to, I don't want to speed through content, right? Like I like to casually fly around and look around and yeah. So, if I'm flying over mountains, fine, I'll hit the dragon riding speed. But like for the most part, I'm doing things that require me to actually look around the area, right? So yeah. At the moment, there's no features there that are gonna wreck my enjoyment. So yeah. With Dragonflight, I disliked it right off the reveal. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped. Yeah, I'm finally happy to go into the next expansion. And yeah, so yeah, that calls it on the retail stuff. Let's talk the classic stuff now.
So that its true lords may return. You dare trespass into my domain? Die! This is my realm.
Okay, so for Classic, the obvious happened. We did get the announcement trailer for Cataclysm Classic. We knew that was coming, Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this puts Classic as a retail version. So here is the shop, of course. That is I would say probably the major reason people consider Classic WoW retail now. But here's the shop. And, I'm just going to say, as someone who's never really cared about the shop. Like, I don't care if they put things on it or if they don't, you know? But I wasn't going to get Cata because Cata was my first disliked expansion, but that is a badass mount. I'm just gonna say. Now, the thing that's interesting is that it seems cheap. You know, I'm not used to seeing something that's $30 on the shop, you know, aside from like a mount or something. Yeah, granted that is US prices, but still, it does seem cheap. Yeah. I don't even see why you would get the epic, because, like, who cares about a month? Like, the mount in the pet is in the heroic. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do here, you know? They purposely trying to lose money or what? Like, if it was me, I'd be throwing the mountain pet in the epic upgrade. Yeah. So Hardcore got an announcement, and that was that Self-Found will show up in 2024. You know, and then, of course, Classic Plus is a name that was kind of, you know, made by the community. I always kind of figured that it came from Mythic Plus, you know, Mythic Plus, Classic Plus. Yeah, it just, you know, it's just a made-up name. Plus is, you know, a popular thing when you're talking about extra content, right? So we kind of got that. You know, as far as I saw, I felt like this next feature is Classic Plus. It's just not called Classic Plus, but they weren't going to call it what the community was calling it. They would put it in something. So basically, it is Season of Discovery got announced. And they actually announced a Warlock tank and a Mage healer in this season. So that was very interesting. The season will launch with an initial level cap of 25. And then when you reach max level, you'll be met with like a new level 25 endgame. And they also mentioned the Black Fathom Deeps raid. I've also mentioned that that's one of my favorite dungeons. And to be fair, it's also like a very memorable dungeon for me because it's one of the first dungeons that I really did. So yeah, I love that they chose Black Fathom Deeps. So it'll be a 10-player raid with, of course, the level cap of 25. It's going to add some additional bosses and changes to the raid. One thing that I was really happy to hear is that they plan on no PTR testing. I think they should get rid of PTR for everything, honestly. There'll be discoveries. So what are discoveries? Discoveries are new hidden secrets, inspiration, exploration and adventure, social interaction and info sharing, no public beta or PTR, new additions that feel at home in original WoW. I said it during my live stream, but I wonder if they got the inspiration for that when retail was doing its Secrets of Azeroth, because that event did really well. You know, I still have people watching those videos. Rune engraving and new class runes will be revealed during the classic Season of Discovery. And yeah, so that is basically what got announced for Classic. I thought that was an awesome announcement as well. I totally want to play the Season of Discovery. Okay, so next, Diablo. Now, this one's a shorter one because I felt like they didn't really give us a whole lot. Maybe that was just me, but anyway, basically they started it out by announcing the Vessel of Hatred that will be coming up. So that will be D4's first expansion.
We have each played a part in what has happened here. You abdicated your choice to this child. With every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in the light.
They also mentioned a new class. Now, I hate when they mention, oh, we've got a new class, and then they don't even tell you what it is. I would rather just not even get that news till later. But they did mention that there will be a new class, and it is not a class Diablo has ever seen out of, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm really interested to know what it could be, because I would love to see actually a new Diablo class that isn't familiar. They did mention the gauntlet. The basics of the gauntlet is it can be accessed after reaching World Tier 4. You don't need to be level 100 to access the gauntlet, and it's a fixed seed, non-linear dungeon, which means that the monsters and positions, layout, and affixes are always the same. In the gauntlet, your mastery and skill will be tested to achieve the highest scores, which will appear on the leaderboards. Loot drops at the end of the timer. You don't have to worry about picking up loot on the way. At the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet will replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset. So the monsters and chests drop pickups called Proof of Might. You'll have a limited amount of time to collect as many of them as possible to maximize your score. And you'll be rewarded a seal depending on your score. Reaching the seal of the worthy puts you in the top 1,000 of the leaderboard. And the leaderboards will look a lot like they did in D3. In case you didn't play D3, it was like solo, class, 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. So they'll be just like that, yeah. And then there's also the Hall of the Ancients, which is a permanent leaderboard that cements the top 10 players every week in every season forever. So D4 also announced a holiday event. So it's going to start on December 12th. It's called Midwinter Blight. And here's some cosmetic rewards you can get from it. And here's some blight monsters, and they look badass. They look really cool. Here's the map. So it's the map but, this is what it looks like when the Midwinter Blight event is going on. And that's basically all we know so far. Still early in. But I really like holiday event stuff. Being as completed as I am with WoW, I have to bank on other games for my holiday event kind of, kick, I guess, whatever it's called. Like for my, to get my holiday events in. I used to always use Overwatch as that time because it's a nice casual game. But then Overwatch 2 took over and I just can't, I just can't, I have no desire to play Overwatch 2, but I loved Overwatch 1, and I'd always play during the Christmas season and the Halloween season. They had events going on for everything, but those were my two major holidays that I liked just doing whatever in Overwatch. Yeah, I thought they had the best skins and stuff for those events. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought of the BlizzCon stuff. And are you excited for the new WoW expansion? If you played D4, did anything interest you for D4? I have heard from numerous people that Season 2 is way better than Season 1, and D4 is actually doing better. People are having more fun in it. So that's good to see. And that's it. This is probably going to be a pretty long video, so I'm just gonna call it here so that it's not too terribly long for you guys. And yeah, it's been a crazy day today. I only had today really to edit, and I had to do the patch video as well. So it was like 2 big videos in one day. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.